I get it, you've spent hours scrolling through endless listings of spotting scopes, each one promising crystal clear views of birds in flight or distant mountain peaks, and then you finally get the box, set it up, and the image looks more like a hazy postcard than the razor-sharp detail you imagined. That disappointment is what makes me pause before I click buy on anything that looks good on paper but could end up gathering dust. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. In this video I'm going to walk through the SWAROVSKI OPTIK ATS 65 HD spotting scope, point out where it actually shines in real-world use, and flag the moments when it might feel like you've overpaid. First off, who is this scope built for? If you're an avid birdwatcher who needs to identify subtle field marks on a warbler perched 300 feet away, or a hunter who wants to verify game distance before a shot, the combination of a 65mm objective and a 25-50x zoom gives you a versatile sweet spot. The 65mm lens gathers enough light to keep the image bright even in heavy canopy or low-light dawn conditions, while the variable magnification lets you dial in a tighter view without swapping eyepieces. On the other hand, if you're a casual hiker who just wants a quick glance at a distant ridge once a year, you'll likely find the price tag hard to justify, especially when a smaller 3040mm scope can do the job for a fraction of the cost. Let's talk about what you actually see when you look through this thing. The HD in the name refers to a high-definition optical coating that reduces internal reflections. In practice, that means the colors you see are vivid but not oversaturated, and the contrast stays punchy even when the sky is overcast. I tested it on a mixed forest trail where the light filtered through leaves and patches. At 30x, a red-crowned kinglet's tiny feather patterns were discernible. At 45x, the same bird's beak and even the faint outline of a feather shaft were visible. That kind of resolution is what you need when you're trying to separate a juvenile from an adult or confirm a species that's otherwise a blur. The zoom mechanism feels smooth and stays locked in place, which is a small but important detail when you're holding the scope steady on a tripod and need to shift from 25x to 40x quickly as a flock moves. The field of view ranges from about 1.5 degrees at the low end to roughly 0.8 degrees at the high end. In a practical sense, that translates to about 25 feet across at 1,000 feet distance at 25x, and about 13 feet at 50x. For a birder, that means you can track a moving bird across the canopy without constantly recentering the image, and for a hunter, you can maintain a consistent framing of the target while you assess wind and distance. Now, durability is a selling point that often gets tossed around in marketing copy, but how does it hold up in the field? The body is machined from a single piece of aluminum and finished with a rubberized coating that resists scratches and offers a decent grip even when your gloves are wet. I took it on a weekend trip where the weather swung from sunny to a sudden downpour. After a couple of minutes of rain, the scope didn't fog up inside, and the external finish stayed intact. The eye cup has a 17mm eye relief, which is generous enough for people who wear glasses. I wore my prescription lenses and never felt like I was straining to get the full picture, a comfort factor that's often overlooked until you spend an hour on a blind. One area where the ATS 65 HD shows a hidden trade-off is its weight. At roughly 1.2 kilograms, it's sturdier than a compact 30mm unit, but that extra heft can become noticeable on long hikes. If you're planning to carry it in a backpack for a day-long trek, you'll need a dedicated case or a robust tripod to avoid fatigue. I found that pairing it with a lightweight carbon fiber tripod helped balance the load, but that adds another expense to the overall setup. For a stationary observer, someone who sets up a hide or a fixed viewing spot, the weight isn't an issue. In fact, the solid construction gives confidence that the scope won't shift or vibrate under wind. Focusing on the precision side, the focus knob offers fine adjustments with a short travel distance, allowing you to lock onto a target quickly. The shortest focusing distance is about 1 meter, which is more than enough for inspecting close objects like a squirrel nest or a distant rock formation. I tried focusing on a butterfly perched just 1.2 meters away while standing on a rocky outcrop. The image snapped into razor-sharp focus almost instantly, without any wobble. That kind of responsiveness matters when you're trying to capture a fleeting moment, whether you're photographing or simply observing. Let's address the elephant in the room: price. SWAROVSKI optics are premium, and this scope carries that reputation. The value you get isn't just in the